Welcome to First Unitarian Church of Orlando. I am Sarah Gray, a member of this congregation and worship team here at 1U. With me in today's service are Reverend Margalie Belizaire, Director of Lifespan Religious Education, Judith Stein-Farrall, our Director of Music, Aubrey Connelly-Candelario, Elizabeth Horn, and Board Member Michael Lewis. And let's not forget our teams of wonderful people in the background working diligently to ensure that we come together this morning. So thank you. Children will go to supervised free play after we sing them out after time for all ages, and the nursery is open until noon. We greet you this morning, old friends and new ones, as we explore our Unitarian Universalist faith, which draws us into a community of justice seekers with a commitment to lifelong spiritual growth and compassionate service to the community. As a Unitarian Universalist congregation, we are a non-creedal community that does not subscribe to a specific set of beliefs. We live by a covenant that encourages ethical behavior and affirms democracy, celebrates the worth of each individual, and unites us in a search for truth and meaning. Whether today is your first or your 1000th Sunday in our midst, you are welcome here. Whoever you are, whoever you love, you are welcome here. In this community, your whole self is welcome. We welcome your race, national origin, immigration status, gender identity, sexual orientation, age, physical or mental abilities, economic status, or religious background. We welcome you. For more information about our congregation and announcements, go to orlandouu.org or email welcometeam@orlandouu.org. We have a few special announcements today. From Religious Enrichment, next Sunday for the adults of all ages, yes you, Greg Buckingham will be leading a round of continuing conversations at 9:15 a.m. in the gathering space. We all started our UU journey somewhere. Greg will review some past conversations and discuss having some new ones. Youth Group has decided to move their weekly gatherings to Wednesday evenings. Advisors and youths will gather from 7 p.m. until about 8:30 for a lightly facilitated evening of UU time, camaraderie and support, event planning, and gameplay. Middle school and high school youth are welcome. Please contact Judith for more information. The worship team is conducting an annual survey, and we're inviting feedback through a link in the newsletter, or you can pick up a hard copy and complete the survey and return it to me, Linnea, or the office. I will be available after the service at the front of the sanctuary to hear your accolades, concerns, and comments in person. So, can't wait. Today is the last day for this round of survey comments, but of course you can contact the worship team throughout the year. All right, a drum roll please. It is finally time to register for the online 1U Community Exchange. Our 2024 1U fundraiser has loads of dinners, events, and special opportunities. Watch for an email this afternoon with detailed step-by-step directions and a link to register. Bidding and buying doesn't begin until Saturday, February 3rd at 9 a.m., but register now so you can begin to buy and bid. Here is an important tip. Buy now items are only guaranteed yours once you check out and purchase online. If the same item is in someone else's shopping cart, the first person to pay online wins the item. So it's on. Register early and plan your strategy so you're not delayed in getting in on all the fun. A reminder that the next Milk District Salon is Saturday, February 17th at 8 p.m. in our sanctuary. Tickets are available through the church website. All other announcements are on slides before and after the service and have links in the weekly update or on our website. If you would like to follow along to the service, please use the QR code shown in the monitor and on the first few slides. Thanks again for being here in person and online today.
Good morning. I'm Elizabeth.
I'm Ansley.
I'm Nolan.
And we're the Horn family. Please join us with these words as we light the chalice. Go ahead.
In the light of truth, and in the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share.
Please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing our opening hymn, number 200, A Mighty Fortress. The words for all hymns will appear on the screen above.
So every once in a while, we want to know how well you know the songs in our hymnals. It is good to be with you this morning as we continue to explore the theme of liberating love. And today, we will explore liberating love with our Universalist ancestors in mind. So, with that in mind, I have our call to worship, which are the words of Reverend Nancy McDonald Ladd, more love. We gather in community every Sunday in a state of conflict for our very souls, a state both expansively hopeful and restrictively confined. We are hopeful that we might rise to meet a new day, hopeful that each and every one of us might encounter the sacred within, among and beyond every human soul, and hopeful that such an encounter might work through us to topple the idolatries of our age. And yet, we also gather as a people who are not yet free, a people confined and contained, because in this culture of division built upon the pain of people at the margins, we hold our love too tightly, putting our love in boxes with qualifications. I will love you if, I will see you if, I will bear the truth of my soul alongside you if, and only if you agree with me, you look like me, you act like me, you sing like me, you wear your gender on your sleeve and produce it upon demand. I will love you and will meet you in the next sanctuary of our hearts if, and only if, you give me evidence of your good liberal virtues, if, and only if. We are imprisoned by these ifs and these only ifs. We are confined by the smallness of our loving. And so today, As we intersect with honest work, let us with our hopefulness intersect with our conviction. Let our willingness to love beyond our expectations or experience break down our long-held barriers. Let our willingness to be honest about the hardest questions open us to new truth. May there truly be more love, no labels, and no binary, and no preface, and no qualification, and no arithmetic, and no limit. May there be more love to liberate us all, and may we keep on today and every day until we find it and share it inch by precious inch with one another and the world. So come, beloveds, let us worship together, always seeking more love. And let's greet one another with that love.
Oh, look, I have a mic, please. I'd invite any children at heart to join me up front, and I have an assistant coming from the sides. Our message this morning, Reverend Margalie, is talking about universalism as at the heart of our faith. So, who here knows what universalism is? Yeah. Anybody want to throw out an answer? Whoa, what? All are loved and saved by God. All are loved. What does that mean? Who do you love? Stuff? Universalism is we love stuff.
Well, totally
Food, we love food. Books. We love, universalism is we love books. Willow. My best friends. People. Wait a minute, I have a question. Are you catching up? Sure. Okay. I heard universalism is we love people. Are there people that we don't love? If all are loved by God, or our interpretation of God, is there someone that is not loved? I hear a qualification statement down here. Yes.
If somebody...
So behavior, maybe we don't love all behaviors, but do we love are all people? Does universalism mean we love all people?
We love all people, but we can not help them.
The question is, and the answer was we can love all people. Our values statement says, our first principle, if we're going by our principles, is we affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of all. And in our principle statement, it says that we propose that all people live there's a word, a qualification word I can't think, but fully, right, that there is inherently worthy. They are all inherently worthy lives. All right. So, when we live our Unitarian Universalism, what are we doing in the world? Loving everybody. How are we showing that? What do we do in this world to show that we love our world? Yes, ma'am.
Like respecting stuff.
Respecting stuff. What do we respect? The earth. Nature. What? Chairs. We respect chairs. People. People that do what? People that make our... Say that again? One more time. Pretend. Protect us. Okay, so put that in a statement for me. Okay, all right. People that we protect people, right? Yeah. We love people who bring us joy. We love people that bring us food. We love people that build our bridges. Oh. What was that? We love people who aggravate us. Universalism is we love people who aggravate us. Anything else? What else is universalism? How many do we have there?
4.
4. Let's go for 2 more. What else is universalism? Respect for... Sorry? People. And maybe human rights. Respect for the creatures of our earth, right? Bumblebees in particular. What about people who believe in ice cream as God? Yeah. We love those people too. That is universalism? Yeah? Oh, what did you say? Oh, no, I didn't hear you. Okay. Okay.
Don't respect the people that take the ice cream back and then put it back in empty.
We are frustrated by people that eat the last of the ice cream, but do we love them?
Not just eat the last ice cream. You can eat the last ice cream. Just don't put the container back in the fridge.
Don't put the empty container back in the fridge. All right, let's read where we stand. We have written a poem, and I asked for a mic. All right, it's only one, right? Who would like to read this poem? I'm going to let one of the little kids read it. Okay. How about you share the mic between you, both of you? Stand up. All right.
Universalism is all are loved and saved by God.
Oh, Bumblebee from Wings of Fire.
Okay, we're not going off script.
Go down the order.
We love stuff.
Hold the mic up higher.
All people inherently worthy. Food.
We love stuff.
Respecting the earth. We love
a lot.
We love people who aggravate us.
And
human rights.
yeah, and squishmallows.
Because that's what that drawing is.
Okay. All right. You want to read it one more time for us? Sure. Okay.
Universalism is all are loved and saved by God. We love stuff, all people, food, inherently worthy, respecting the earth. We love people who aggravate us, and we love human rights.
And apparently squishmallows.
We love
Okay, real quickly. In universalism is we are worthy, you are worthy, everybody out there is worthy, right? We're all worthy, right? Thank you for your help. On that note, we will now sing our children and youth out to organized free play, or I'm sorry, lightly supervised free play. Thank you to, oh, and our scribe here is also worthy. Go ahead, you can take that. And our poets are worthy. Would our adults please form a bridge to sing our children out?
Well, that was fun. Good morning. My name is Michael Lewis, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees. We invite you now into the practice of generosity. It is one of our spiritual values which sustains the life and ministries of the church community. Let us be grateful for the opportunity to give, for it is a privilege to be able to do so. And let us be grateful for the opportunity to receive. For they give us the opportunity to practice receiving. Yes, I said that. Today's full collection will go to the ministries of this congregation. Our Share the Plate recipient this month is Maitland Holocaust Center. The offering will now be collected. Please note that you can give online using the QR code. That's it.
In the midst of pain, I choose love. In the midst of pain, sorrow falling down like rain, I await the sun again. I choose love. I choose love. In the midst of war, I choose peace. In the midst of war, I choose peace. In the midst of war, hate and anger keeping score, I will seek the good once more. I choose peace. I choose peace. When the world falls down, I will rise. When the world falls down, I will rise. When the world falls down, explanations can't be found. I will climb to higher ground. I will rise. I will rise.
Let us joyfully receive what is offered here today in the spirit of gratitude and fellowship.
This is the time we set aside for deep sharing of our hearts and for prayer and meditation. If you have a sorrow that you need witnessed or help with, or you have a joy that you wish to share, please contribute to our collective sharing of joys and sorrows to be read here on Sunday mornings. You can send it by email at joysandsorrows@orlandouu.org during the week. You can bring it in with you. And you can also fill out a card outside at the welcome table, and everyone make sure that they bring it up here so then we can share it in community. We also offer you the opportunity to silently light a candle for the things you want to continue to hold in your heart. So, bring your joys, bring your sorrows as we come together. Come just as you are, because your whole self is welcome here in the sacred space we are creating together. We have today's flowers. They were brought in by Colleen Weiderhold. These flowers are dedicated to the January birthday people. So if you have a January birthday, happy birthday. So we had two joys and concerns that we failed to read last week, so we apologize in advance and we will share them now. Dave and Nancy would like to thank everyone for the cards and thoughtful comments on Dave's speedy recovery from RSV. Wendy Darrow, she's here, was released from the hospital. I think we did let you know when she was going in. She was released last Saturday on the 20th, and she's here today. She was able to join us today, and she wants to thank everyone for your well wishes. Looking for you. There you are. Gabby requests positive thoughts and energy to her friend Justin, who has been in the hospital since Monday. We hope we find an answer soon and a speedy recovery. We send loving kindness, Gabby, to your friend. We also have here a joy from Claire McCoy. Says, I got invited to join the Phi Theta Kappa Honors Society at Seminole State College. All right. Claire, here, okay. So we could congratulate you, Claire. Okay. Jeffrey and Alex celebrated their 28th wedding anniversary on January 13th. They were married in this sanctuary by Reverend Marnie in 1996. And our young adult, Cammie Horn, says, please send good energy to Cammie this month as she began her 6-month internship at Kansas City, Missouri. She will be providing music therapy services at University Health Behavioral Health Services, and this will complete her music therapy degree from Florida Gulf Coast University. During this time, she will be attending All Souls UU Church. Yeah, where are you? Yes, she's back there. We go with you, Cammie. And of course, we want to send continued prayer for the end of the suffering for those living in Gaza. And for all the joys and all the sorrows of this community shared today, and for those held close to the heart, let us pray, let us celebrate, and let us send each other healing energy. And now, I want to guide us through a meditation that was written by Reverend Ann Mason. If you would try to sit as comfortably as you can, maybe get yourself about 5% more comfortable than you are now. Close your eyes if that feels right for you, or have them at a soft gaze looking ahead of you. Now, let's take a deep breath together. And now listen to what is floating up into your mind. Is it joyful? Is it painful? Might you be frustrated or anxious or tired? See if you can identify for yourself what emotions you are carrying. And now take just a moment to summon a picture of yourself as a young child. Picture yourself. Do you see yourself running with others? Gathering flowers, blowing bubbles, having a temper tantrum? Can you see your own sweet childish face? Now take a moment and speak gently to this young child and say, "Sweetheart, I see you. I remember you. I love you." Now take another moment and summon up the emotions and struggles you identified earlier. Speak gently to your inner self as you are right now and say, "Sweetheart, I see you. I remember you. I still love you." Let's take another deep breath together. And as you take the next breath, breathe in peace. And when you breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out. Peace, love, peace, love. As we return to this present moment here in this space, I invite you to feel the presence of each person in this room. And remember, we have part of our audience, folks who are attending with us online. So try the best as you can to feel their presence across the internet, across this division, this possible potential division. Let us share our peace and our love as we drift together on this beautiful blue-green earth. You are now invited to come forward and light a candle of remembrance, loving kindness, or hope. Our first candle will be lit to recognize the joys and sorrows of our online community, and the last one to recognize the unspoken joys and sorrows of all in this room and online.
There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere.
Universalism as a religious tradition started off as a theological claim about life after death. Our religious forebears asserted that there was no way that an all-loving God would damn any of God's own people to eternal punishment and torment. The ideal was inconsistent with love in an ultimate sense. Universalism was a claim that whatever destiny any of us is meant for, all of us are meant for. In the 20th century, this afterlife affirmation became instead a claim and a commitment we make about this life. An affirmation that, as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, we are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever lines we may consciously or subconsciously seek to draw between us and them, enemy and friend, good or bad, worthy or unworthy, there is no escaping or undoing how interconnected we are, how interdependent. Now, no matter how different or disagreeable, no one is less or more human than any other of us. No one. The outcome of this theological claim is what King described as the beloved community. Beloved, as in fueled by and held together by the promises of love. Not just any love, but agape love, whereas other types of love are directed at particular individuals, romantic love or the love of friends. King described agape as the sort of love that makes no distinction between a friend and enemy. It is an overflowing love that is purely spontaneous, unmotivated, groundless, and creative. The love of God operating in the human heart. King went on to call it disinterested love because it is the sort of love that doesn't care whether it is loved back. It is the love that will go to any length to restore humanity. Reverend Gretchen Haley. Universalism as a theological, philosophical concept has deep historical roots that predate the formal merger with Unitarianism in 1961. And one of the concerns that the Universalists had during the merger was that they would be swallowed up by Unitarians. They were, at that point, a smaller faith. I wouldn't exactly say that that's what happened, but one might say that we're close to that. Today, practitioners of UU are generally identified as economically stable, well-educated, rational, and scientific, generally. None of these things were identifiers for the Universalists of the time long gone. Even now, right, we are referred to as Unitarians or UUs. No one take the extra seconds to say Unitarian Universalists. So today, let us explore the essence of a Unitarian Universalist faith tradition, delving into the heart that beats within us, which I believe is Universalism. Do you see this? The journey of Universalism is one marked by a deep love for humankind, a struggle to have a voice in religious spaces, and evolving theology, a wrestling with the understanding of spiritual matters, and a commitment to the democratic process that unites us as a community. But the greatest of which Unitarian Universalism gave us was liberating love, as we talked about last week, so as we reflected on Dr. King's wisdom. The Universalist tradition emerged as a distinct theological perspective, emphasizing the belief in universal salvation and the idea that all people will ultimately be reconciled with the divine. This perspective stood in contrast with the more prevalent belief of eternal damnation within mainstream Christian theology. We can trace Universalism roots as far back to early Christian times, where some theologians and thinkers such as Origen of Alexandria in the 3rd century espoused views suggesting the eventual salvation of all souls. However, it was during the Reformation and the subsequent development of Protestantism that the Universalist movement began to take shape more distinctly. In the 18th century, figures like James Riley and John Murray played crucial roles in articulating and promoting Universalist ideas. James Riley, a Welsh minister, argued for the universal redemption of humanity through the concept of human with Christ. John Murray, who has the distinction of being the founder of American Universalism, was an influential Universalist preacher. He came to the US from England in the late 18th century and contributed significantly to the spread of Universalism in America. The 19th century is marked by a period of formal organization and institutionalization for Universalism. The Universalist Church of America was founded in 1793, and it became a significant force in American religious life. Universalist congregations were established, and the movement gained popularity, especially in the New England area. One of the prominent Universalist theologians of the 19th century was Hosea Ballou, whose work on the Treatise of Atonement became influential in shaping Universalist thoughts. Ballou argued for the inherent goodness of humanity and the eventual reconciliation of all souls with a benevolent God. Universalism continued to evolve, adapt, and engage with societal changes throughout the 19th and 20th century. And the movement embraced social justice cause, including the abolition, oh my gosh. The movement embraced social justice causes, including abolitionism and women's rights. Still didn't say it right. Universalist ministers played active role in advocating for social reform. The merger of Universalism and Unitarianism in 1961 resulted in the formation of the Unitarian Universalist Association. This merger was a response to the changing religious landscape, and it brought together two liberal religions that shared common values, including a commitment to social justice, freedom of belief, and the search for truth. The UUA retained the commitment to universal salvation and inclusivity that characterize Universalism. Today, we are a diverse religious movement that encompasses a wide range of theological perspective with roots deeply embedded in the historical development of both Universalism and Unitarianism. So, I'm no historian. I will tell you this now. If you want to know more about not just Universalism, but Unitarians, there are certainly plenty of books. These are the ones I used for information for you today. And we also have historians here who can certainly give you a whole lot more information. But what I want to add is, Even though Unitarian Universalists had shared values, it's crucial that we understand that Unitarianism and Universalism had stark differences in their origins, their experiences, and their theological perspectives. Unitarianism was marked by a rationalist approach, seeking to liberalize established churches and emphasize reason over dogma. Its constituency were well-educated, respected, and affluent. In contrast, Universalism, with its mystical and visionary experiences, challenged the current establishment. They weren't looking to fit into the establishment. They were looking to really dismantle the current establishment and advocate for more exclusive understanding of salvation. And the Universalists tended to be less educated and affluent. Universalists were led by the heart, open to the unexplainable, the mysticism and religious conversion even. They were open to things that were beyond the five senses, beyond touching, seeing, hearing, smelling, and tasting. They were open to the extraordinary experience. Universalists and Unitarians were not mutual allies either early on, and it was actually in the likes of the Baptists, Quakers, and independent revivalists that Universalism found allies. So, keeping those things in mind, I just wanted to make sure, because sometimes we forget that those were two separate sects that came together. But now, though, when I started, I said that Universalists were concerned about being swallowed up by Unitarianism. And to some degree, as I said again, that is true. However, Universalism has become or is the heart of our faith. The UUA Article 2, the proposed Article 2, says Unitarian Universalist Association will actively engage its members in the transformation of the world through liberating love. As Unitarian Universalists, we draw from our heritage of freedom, courage, hope, building on the foundation of love. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared value. And at the core of our Universalist faith lies the profound love of humankind. It is a love that transcends boundaries, embraces diversity, and acknowledges the inherent worth and dignity of every individual. Our Universalist tradition teaches us that love is the force that binds us together, creating a tapestry of compassion and understanding that defies the limitation of dogma and doctrine. In a world often divided by differences, Universalism beckons us to love expansively. It challenges us to extend a hand to those on the margins, to recognize how our interconnectedness, and to view every person as a bearer of divine spark. Yes, even that person that drives you wild, that person also is a bearer of divine spark. This love is not conditional. It is an ever-flowing stream that nurtures the seeds of justice, equality, and empathy. Liberating love is part of our inheritance for the Universalist side of our family. Reverend Gretchen Haley notes from our reading earlier, Universalism as a religious tradition started off as a theological claim about afterlife. However, the idea was inconsistent with a love in the ultimate sense. Universalism was a claim that whatever destiny is meant for one is meant for all. So in other words, unlike the established church, Universalism believed that there was no hell and there was instead universal love. And Reverend Sarah Smalley says, love was that powerful, more powerful than death. It freed us and our Universalist ancestors to stop worrying about the afterlife and instead work to bring heaven on earth. It was up to us to replicate the eternal fractal of the afterlife on earth. And as descendants of these ancestors, they have passed the baton to us. We have been tasked with continuing this task of bringing about the beloved community. In other words, in bringing heaven here on earth. Such a claim, right? Universal love might not seem like a big deal to us as we talk about it today, right? However, it was a dangerous belief to hold in those days, right? Just centuries before those beliefs, people were burned for witchcraft. The teaching of universal salvation was considered heresy then, and even now, it still continues to be held as such in some faith traditions. I don't know if you know the story of the Pentecostal church in Tulsa in the 80s, where the minister, Bishop Carlton Pearson, was disfellowshipped from his faith tradition for preaching universal salvation. And the reason I'm mentioning this particular church is that it merged with a Unitarian Universalist church. Because of our Universalist roots. So you might not be able to imagine it fully, but it was an act of bravery and earnestness, plus loving, that our ancestors demonstrated when they not only held those beliefs, but fought for them. There was also the concern that by the established church, that if people didn't fear damnation, then what would motivate them to do what was right? Right? So universal salvation was also viewed as a threat to moral code. The answer, of course, is liberating love. Love is what would propel us to do what's right. And I quoted a little bit of Reverend Sarah Smalley's quote a little while ago, but here's the entire piece. Historically, Universalism was the belief that no one would go to hell, that there was only universal salvation. Love was that powerful, more powerful than death. This freed our ancestors to stop worrying about the afterlife and instead work to bring heaven to earth. It was up to us to replicate the eternal fractal of the afterlife on earth. Now here's the rest of it. There's this great story about Hosea Ballou, who I mentioned earlier. He's a major theologian who was part of the early Universalist movement. He was traveling through New Hampshire with a Baptist preacher, and they were arguing about theology, arguing back and forth. And at one point, the Baptist preacher looked over at him and said, "Brother Ballou, if I were a Universalist and feared not the fire of hell, I could hit you over the head, steal your horse and saddle, and ride away, and I'd still go to heaven." Hosea Ballou looked over at him and said, "If you were a Universalist, the idea would never occur to you." The idea would never occur to you. If you believe that in your every core that all were loved and all were worthy, it would never occur to you to hurt another. As we reflect on our history, on our Universalist history, let us cherish the legacy of those who fought for the principles we hold dear today. Universalism is not just a theological stance, but a testament to the enduring human spirit that seeks love, justice, and inclusion. May we, as Unitarian Universalists, continue to embody the heart of our faith, rooted in love for humankind, a struggle for voice, an evolving theology, a wrestling with spiritual matters, and a commitment to the democratic process that binds us as one beloved community. May love be our guiding light, and may the spirit of universalism continue to beat strongly in the heart of our Unitarian Universalist faith tradition. May we be so blessed. And now, Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing our closing hymn, number 145, As Tranquil Streams. Lyrics will be on the screen.
As Tranquil Streams was written to commemorate the joining of Unitarianism and Universalism back in 1961. There we go.
I want you to know that you are loved beyond your wildest imaginings by the Spirit of creation. Every bit of you is holy, even the embarrassing parts, even the thoughts you wouldn't tell your best friend. God is in your every cell, calling you to live a loving, joyful, boisterous life, to go easier on yourself, to accept that you are a blessing, to spread the word there is no original sin, that we are all glorious gifts to a world that desperately needs us. Kate Landis. Beloveds, worship has ended, and now the service truly began. And the ask this week is that you fully embrace the Universalist part of our faith and show love not just to yourself, but to the world, because we are all worthy of it. May it be so.
Please say these words with me as we extinguish this flame. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.